Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Cardano has broken down from support. We are correcting. Is the sky falling? Is it time to panic sell or FOMO buy? Well, in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term, run through some critical support and resistance levels that you need to be aware of on the chart, and some off-chart fundamentals and macro catalysts that you absolutely need to know about. So folks, if you like the sound of that, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon notified of new uploads, because you'll stay up to date with the latest and greatest in technical analysis and cryptocurrency news, and it really helps me out. I appreciate it. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm. So folks, let's delve into Cardano. I made a video yesterday saying I was very concerned about Cardano's price action and structure. I saw some very bearish macro things in the technicals, and we have broken down. We have broken down from our pitchfork here. This may be the beginning of the correction. Possibly we're going to run through some scenarios here. So just to describe why this pitchfork was so relevant and the fact that we broke down from it is quite concerning, is because if we take the bottom of this impulse to the top and then the pullback down, then we get some lines that are very likely to have acted as support and resistance, and they did. We can see here acting as resistance, here's support, here's support. We got rejected exactly off our pitchfork lines. Here got rejected off our pitchfork lines. Here rejection, here rejection, here rejection. This pitchfork was extremely price reactive, extremely valid. We were in this wedge. We had a bull trap. I expressed the possibility that this could have been a bull trap because we broke up bullshit, but we were right up against resistance, and we saw some very concerning things on the technicals. Now, we're kind of range bound between what was previously support now acting as resistance. Lots of volume building up in these regions here, so time to turn this box into a red box, because there's this area that was now acting as support since we broke down will now act as resistance. So we have a bunch of support below us at about $1.05. Lots of volume starting to build up in those regions, but I think one of the most important support levels to look out for is the 100 EMA on the 6 hour. If we zoom back out and we see when was the last time we pumped and dumped, and where did we find support? So here we pumped, dump, found support on the 100 EMA. Pump, dump, found support on the 100 EMA on the 6 hour. So historically speaking, very valid, very critical support. The 100 EMA on the 6 hour is currently at $1. Nice psychological support region and a very significant support level right at $1. So if we cannot hold above 107, I do think retesting $1 makes a lot of sense. As well, $1 lines up pretty closely with our green support line here on this ascending channel that we are in. So based off this wick, and this wick, we can extend a support line which lines up perfectly with $1 and our 100 EMA on the 6 hour. This is a very critical support level for Cardano. If this cannot hold, I believe the next major support level is around 90 cents. Lots of volume starting to build up in these regions. And below that, I'd say kind of the next major stop is around 70 cents for Cardano. You know, anywhere from like 67 to about, I'd say 72 cents will act as lots of as critical support for Cardano. That's where we get a massive spike in volume starting to build up, and last time we pumped it up, that is where we found support. So let's take a look here at our indicators to try and get a sense of what's going on. We have finally gotten that bearish crossover on the MACD in the overbought region. This is a big deal. This is very bearish, folks. I was ringing the alarm bells, saying I was quite concerned that we were getting macro lower highs in RSI paired with higher highs in price action. Whenever this happens, whenever you get macro lower highs in RSI paired with higher highs in price action, that is very bearish, because we're getting bearish divergence on our indicator. It's telling you the momentum upward is running out of steam, and we were in the overbought region. Very concerning. This is perhaps inevitable, especially with Cardano having released Mary, which was, you know, a large catalyst, a big deal, a big news event, a large catalyst for Cardano, having released around March 1st. It makes sense that we would have an anticipatory run up leading up to that news, and then perhaps a sell off afterwards. Because a lot of people, you know, they buy the rumor, they sell the news. They buy the rumor that there will be a massive catalyst, a massive upgrade, and once that catalyst arrives around the time that, you know, people start to take profits. So this happens all the time. This could have been anticipated. So, and just to explain what the Mary hard fork is, so the the Mary hard fork brings native tokens to the Cardano ecosystem. So just how Ethereum has the ERC20 coins, now with the Mary hard fork that released March 1st, people will now be able to create the Cardano native coin. So very big deal. And since we're on the topic of off-chart fundamental catalysts, one other thing that you need to be aware of, which is the launch of Goguen. So Goguen will bring smart contracts and more functionality to the Cardano ecosystem, creating more dApps. And so Goguen is a second rollout, the second phase of large upgrades to Cardano, and that's happening sometime in March. So Mary was just the first step. Cardano, so the Mary hard fork was one major rollout, and then Goguen will be a second major rollout, which is rolling out further functionality for Cardano. So I hope I explained that somewhat okay. But so those are some of the major off-chart factors that you need to be aware of. So I don't think, Cardano still could do quite well later this month once, Goguen is around the time of the release of Goguen. We don't know exactly when that will be, although it's expected to come out sometime this month. So just to summarize here, bearish crossover on the MACD, very bad news. When's the last time we had a bearish crossover on the MACD when we were overbought? Right about here, which coincides with, if we can zoom out here, so it was bearish crossover right here. Yeah, so it was like either this peak or this peak here. And that's when we fell down and found support on the 100 EMA on the 6 hour, which again is currently at $1. So I think that honestly it's probably likely that we retest $1 at this point. Again, this region 107, 106 might act as support, but honestly, that bearish crossover on the daily MACD, that's a big deal. I think we're likely to see bearish continuation, to be honest. But then again, let's keep looking at our indicators here so I get a sense of further of what's going on here. So 12-hour MACD on the way down, weighted MACD on the way down, stochastic on the way down, still no bearish crossover, and RSI macro lower highs and lower lows. So 12-hour looks bullish, bearish all the way around. So 6-hour, everything looks bearish except stochastic RSI, bullish crossover. Although the stochastic RSI is great for understanding shifts and trends. It moves from one extreme to the other, one extreme overbought to oversold, overbought to oversold. When it's in the oversold and it's supposed to have that leg up to the overbought region and it doesn't, it has a bearish crossover kind of around midway through, it's telling you price does not want to go up. So that's very bearish that we're supposed to have that leg up to the overbought and we didn't, kind of barely, not even midway through. So price does not really want to go up. Let's take a look at the 2-hour. 2-hour, yeah, we're starting to see some strength. Yeah, RSI oversold. Stochastic RSI bullish crossover in the oversold region. MACD histogram moving up. So let's take a look at the 1-hour here. Yeah, so 1-hour, yeah, okay, 1-hour, we're starting to see some strength here. Yeah, this looks bullish. So we might have a bit of a swing up here in the short term. So let's see here. Yeah, so folks, in the short term here, we might have a bit of a relief rally, a bit of a leg up, perhaps like a dead cat bounce. For those who don't know what a dead cat bounce is, whenever we have a bit of a leg down, we have a relief rally, but it's typically a bull trap, a fake out, and then we go for that another leg down. So, let's see, I think something like this probably makes sense for Cardano, to be honest with you, because that bearish crossover on the daily MACD is very bad news bears. Honestly, best case scenario, we fall back down to $1 and hold that as support. But then again, I don't know, right? Cardano is insanely bullish. The market as a whole is insanely bullish. We can trend for quite some time being overextended. So just because we do look bearish on the larger time frames does not guarantee that we fall below $1. But again, I think dollar will be strong support. I think it's likelier than not, in my opinion, and again, I could be wrong, that we retest about $1. So hopefully these regions act as support for Cardano. If not, these are the major support levels I see for Cardano. And again, we have Goguen releasing sometime this month. So again, bullish catalyst, likely to have some kind of anticipatory run-up leading up to the release of Goguen, especially if we know in advance, if the market knows in advance when the exact date of release for Goguen is. Long-term, I think Cardano has a good chance of reaching $5 to $10. Now, I don't know that for sure. That's just kind of a guesstimate for fun. I find it much more helpful to look to scale out of long-term positions, more so based off time frames and less so based off price targets, because I do believe we're in a bull market, but this bull market is likely to end at some point. I think this bull market is likely to end with Bitcoin September, October, and Cardano and the altcoins are likely to reach their peak sometime a month after Bitcoin, because something similar happened last cycle. Last cycle, Cardano and the altcoins reached their peak after roughly a month after Bitcoin. So again, I think something similar could happen this time around. So October, November rolls around, whatever the price of Cardano just so happens to be around that time is when I'll be looking to scale out, whether that's $3, $5, $10, or $100. I certainly don't think it's gonna go that high this cycle, but I think kind of $5 to $10 is somewhat reasonable in my opinion. But whatever the price happens to be around that time is when I'll be looking to scale, regardless of price. I'm selling more so based off time frame. So yeah, folks, look, if anything interesting further happens, we'll definitely be talking about it here. Don't you go anywhere. Another thing before I leave you guys here, another important thing to look at here is the Cardano, Bitcoin, and Ethereum pairings. I think I was making videos ringing the alarm bells that we broke above critical resistance, and that was the cue that the US dollar value for Cardano would rise once we broke above this major resistance on the Cardano Bitcoin pairing. So on the Cardano Bitcoin pairing and the Cardano Ethereum pairing, we've recently had massive run-ups, and so now we're just having a pullback. And if we look at the daily here with the Cardano Bitcoin pairing, the next major support level is the 20 EMA on the daily, which is currently at I'd say 0.00021, just kind of like the two, just for ease of speaking here, kind of the 2122 region. We can see here there's some price reactive zones. We got wicked off these regions, so this will act as some kind of temporary support for the Cardano Bitcoin pairing. If and when we touch these levels and consolidate and rest on these levels for a while, I think that's when the bleeding will stop for the US dollar value of Cardano, at least temporarily. As well, the Cardano Ethereum pairing, the 20 daily is currently at around the 6.6, 6.7 region. So again, once we reach these regions here and reach our first temporary level of, at the very least temporary level of support, I think that's when the bleeding will stop for Cardano. And again, it's always important to look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum does. They lead the market. If Bitcoin and Ethereum decide to swan dive into nothingness, that will definitely have an effect on Cardano and the altcoins. And if they decide to just pump $10,000, if Bitcoin decides to pump $10,000 in a day, that is definitely going to have an effect on Cardano. So it's always important to keep an eye out for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Whatever they do will have an effect on the rest of the market as well. Bitcoin dominance. I keep mentioning this. I hope I don't sound too robotic, but I figured out a way to quickly get out what I need to say. So in every video, I pretty much say the same thing. So for those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. Whenever it rises, altcoins typically suffer. Whenever it falls, altcoins typically benefit. I'm pretty sure people can say it along with me at this point. And so if we see Bitcoin dominance start to rally and start to go for that leg up, that should tell you that's going to place the dampers on the altcoins. Whenever it falls, that should tell you the altcoins have more gas in their tank to continue pumping. So very good gauge starting to sense of what the altcoins are going to do. Folks, if you like this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. Join our Discord. We have semi-regular coin calls where we talk about the market, break down what we see happening, major news stories, events, and we also talk to all our Discord members regularly, answer questions. And as well, if you want to support us, consider joining our Patreon. Link for everything down in the description. If you join our Patreon, you get access to the VIP Discord group, low cap gems, interesting setups, very helpful resources, and again, we talk to our Discord members. I talk to our Discord members daily. So folks, links for everything down in the description. Thank you for watching. Till next time, take care.